What's up, guys? Been a while.
I know. How are you?
Great to see you. Good. I'll just answer any questions for you.
Go ahead. Front row, Bill. Back row, Clay.
How do you feel?
Clay just jumped right in. I feel great. I feel good. Not great. Feel good.
Is that problematic?
I've had it for several years. It's a cyst, a arachnoid cyst that surfaced a couple times, once in '98, once in '04, and then a couple other times. And it's just something you got to manage. And had a procedure done. They were great at the medical center to relieve some pressure, and I'm good to go.
Front row, Bill.
You can only tell so much from one day. As you saw today, or look at today, what were your impressions? And in terms of the whole spring, what do you want to see?
That's a good question, and you're right that you can't. You know, you guys, hey coach, how'd practice go today? It went fine. You know, I felt like we lost something on defense. We have a mantra. We have you know, a culture that I want to make sure we don't lose. And what happens with fast break offenses and all the kinds of scheme that you lose, that it's 4 to 6 seconds, point A to point B. That's who we are. That's the last thing I say to every team before they take the field, because I want them to go hard and not be worried about mistakes. And I felt like we were a what-if defense last year. What if they did this? And I saw from our coaches and saw from our players. And so what I'm looking for is simplicity and 4 to 6 and A to B. And if you can't give us that, then we got to move on and get another player that will. So if you see big plays right now, I don't care. I just want to see guys trigger and go. So that's been that way since day one in 2000, or what was it? Man, in 2001, when I first became a head coach. I don't want a team that's scared to make mistakes. I don't want a team that's thinking. I want a team that goes 4 to 6 seconds, and when they put their foot in the ground, it's A to B, as fast and as hard as you go. We've scored many, many touchdowns on offense, and we've played some great defense when maybe guys were misaligned, made a couple mistakes, but they overcame it with effort. I didn't feel that way last year. Really haven't felt that way the last 2 years. So that's what I'm looking for.
Front row, Tom.
Braxton can't participate, but obviously it's not a country club setting for him. He's actually, looks like he's taking some mental reps out there. He's got a...
Yeah, they got a contraption set up where he actually calls the play. He also tells us what he sees in the secondary, his habit. The issue, if you remember a year ago, was fundamentals with footwork and balance and just ball positioning. His issues now are verbal communication and keeping the eyes in the secondary. And so every play we're having him say what he sees in the secondary. So it'll be a productive spring, and he's into it right now.
Did he have a tendency last year maybe not to look at the coverage as much as the pass rush?
Most quarterbacks do. That's why there's a lot of average quarterbacks out there. You got to be a tough nut to stand back there and have a pass rush coming on, and you still keep your eyes downfield. I'd probably say it's typical of every quarterback I've ever been around. You got to fight your way through that.
Front row, far right, Austin.
Ruben, what did you sense was the mood or report back from Coach Mick for winter conditioning and then
Great.
Practice coming off the game in class?
Yeah, it was great. You know, I think we have a transition of personnel like you have every year. You know, last year, the previous year, we lost probably the best group of leaders I've ever been around. This year, we had some guys that weren't great leaders, developed into very good leaders. I don't want to diminish what happened, because we came back and took the lead in the fourth quarter and gave up in the last two. We lost a couple in the last two, and that happens. If I felt like there was lack of fight, then then they blow the whole thing up. There was certainly not lack of fight. So we just got to improve. We got to finish, and I like where we're at as a team, and Coach Mick likes where we're at from what we did in the offseason.
Do you notice a difference between a team a year ago going 12-0 or a team coming off with a couple?
Yeah. I felt last year, I didn't want to say the word entitled, but I felt like there was, you know, I want a angry blue-collar team, and I'm hoping that, I don't know, it's still early, but I'm hoping that's what we have. Last year was kind of, well, you're 12-0, your preseason this, you're this, and I haven't had many people ask about our preseason, right? Not that I know what it is, but we're just trying to find out who's going to play for us at some spots.
Front row, Tim.
Yeah, a couple. Number one, what is Braxton losing by not being able to go through the spring?
Game reps. Yeah. Game reps.
And
that's it.
What What will that cost him, I guess? I mean, it's probably pretty hard to measure.
Yeah, if he doesn't have a good summer, it'll cost him a lot. He'll be a very average player. So I think he understands his weaknesses. It's verbal, and it's keeping his eyes in the secondary. The good thing is you can do that without, it's obviously better if you can throw. But if you saw him, he was every snap right behind there, and I watched him. He's engaged, and he's got a lot riding on this now. In case he fixes, if he doesn't fix this and this, it's not a, it's a much different spot than he wants to be.
This is my second question I want to ask is, who's going to watch that video every night? Who's in charge of watching his video every night of him talking and stuff?
Our quarterback coach. Yeah, and there's a guy, that intern, that's Quinn's working with him and all that.
And I saw at one point, you went around before one of the full team sessions and talked to everybody on the defense at one point. What's sort of the message you're giving them out there on the field? Obviously you said you were going to be more involved with the defense.
To me, it's all go. It's all the 4 to 6, A to B, and that's there's certain things if you played the game before, or if you played any sports, there's certain things that are built into your culture the way you go, and it's not the call, it's not the it's not always thinking about plays. It's thinking about it's the ability that the great ones, every great one I've been around, every great one, it's an absolute relentless effort to the football if you're on defense. If it's 3-4, 4-3, 4-eye, whatever the coverage is, and I think sometimes as coaches, because of what's happened to the game, it's a fast-paced game, get lined up and as opposed to it used to be a game based on effort. And I want to get back to that. And so that's all I'm telling them.
Second row middle, Dave.
Coach, what's your biggest concern from the depth standpoint? Is there any position group that you're concerned about?
Yeah, linebacker. I was really impressed with Raekwon today. Did a really good job. Moved around, very mature. For a shorts practice, he did enough though that I was kind of very positive what I saw. Darren Lee's out there playing walkout backer was impressive. He triggers. I like our safeties. We only have 3 of them right now. 4 would be Ron Tanner, but Ron just he lacks some physical skills. Great tough kid, but I like Vaughn, Tyvis, and Cam Burrows. They're quick twitch trigger guys back there. So. And I think Duran Grant is a different player than he was a year ago. I'm seeing much more aggressive play by him. So.
Far back row middle, Lori.
Coach, you mentioned the fast-paced play that exists in college football today a couple times. What do you think of the effort to call a penalty on teams that go too fast?
It kind of came out of nowhere. I went to meetings in the AFCA, and I was at the head coaches meeting in Indianapolis, never heard it before, and then like a week later we were in Chicago at the Big Ten meetings, and then all of a sudden I just actually threw the media. So I think it's interesting conversation, but there's no way that should start passing rules without a lot of conversation, because the game right now is strong, it's popular. I like it the way it is. I voted to not penalize, but just keep going as is. And if there is further research to be done, then let's do research.
Front row left, Doug.
Urban, how did it unfold that Braxton had the surgery as late as he did, as opposed to?
Yeah, that's a good question, Doug. We knew he got dinged in the bowl game in the pocket where he got hit, and they wanted to rehab it 4 weeks. And because any time you don't want to have surgery on a player if you can rehab him through it, and it wasn't making the progress, so we made a decision to fix it.
And you mentioned Darren Lee. Why is he a guy now that on the first day of practice is running with the ones?
Because he's earned it. His last 3 weeks of fall, his off season, he's 225. I want to say he's legitimate 4.5, 4.4 guy. He's got all the skills. His negative, he's played quarterback at Upper Arlington, New Albany, and so we just got to get him ready to go play. So him and Worley's had a good off season as well. And then there's a kid named Kyle Berger. I can't wait to get him here. I saw him the other day, 230 pounds and jacked, and so those are the kind of players we want out there if we're going to play in base, which right now we're in base.
A couple more questions. Far left, Rusty.
Sorry, another health question. Did it reach a point where you had to have something done, but your headaches were coming more frequently, or they were more difficult, or more hard to deal with?
Oh, not going to be ignorant like I was before, and if something happens, I'm going to get it fixed, and not just put it off. So it reached that point.
And are you limited whatsoever? They tell you that you have to watch what you eat or how long you're working.
Just watch how loud I scream. I'm not kidding you. And how loud I blow the whistle. So, yeah. So I had Fernando blowing the whistle today. It didn't sound very good. It didn't sound the same. So I'll be back after spring break. You'll hear it again.
Last question. Both.
Urban, I want to ask you about a couple of young guys. First, Johnny Dixon, who got our first look at. Clearly, he looks the part.
Looks the part. I wish he did better today. I'm going to grab him today, and I just want guys to play. It's 12 yards instead of 10 yards, and I'll put that on the coach. Don't restrict players, man. Let them go and have fun and play the game. And we don't play tomorrow. And so when I saw who's a good example, Jalen Marshall today, completely different football player than he was a year ago. Why? I put that on the coach. Let the kid go play. And I saw what you saw, great looking dude now, but he didn't play great. So just go.
I want to ask you about JT.
JT
Barrett really looked like he spun it and getting a lot of opportunity without rest.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to be the backup. I wasn't particularly impressed with both guys today. I thought they'd do a little better today. Jeff Hireman has a little broken nose too. He'll be back on Thursday, I think, or off-season. Off-season program's really rough around here. Broke his nose. And Curtis Samuel, I guess, has a little hamstring. Any other questions?
Mike Mitchell, is it done with him? Can you?
Yeah, he's got some. His dad's not doing well, and so that's a shame too. Great kid.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.